your summer jams even hotter with Dos Equis. Keep it interesante.
We never said the story was over. Storm Stories. The Weather Channel's hit series returns August 18th. Anthony Fulton and his stepbrother Michael Luciano live in the mountains above downtown Gatlinburg. There's a fire that's been burning for several days above them. Initially, authorities tell them there's nothing to worry about. The fire should burn itself out. But Michael and Anthony are starting to worry.
It was just an eerie combination, and you kind of had that weird gut feeling that just something wasn't right. And as I was filming the smoke, I saw a very small ember.
I said, I don't see nothing. He says, look on my phone. I see a hot ember coming from the sky. And I look on his phone and I said, holy cow.
Look, there's an ember. Wow, this is really bad.
It's now 8:30 p.m., and there's already been an electrical fire on the mountain road. Michael and Anthony are getting anxious that the fire is spreading.
Something was burning close. With the winds that we had at that time, there were 40 to 50 miles per hour. And that's when me and Michael made a decision, we need to get on the four-wheelers and scout out and see what is burning.
And about 400 yards from where we're sitting now, there were 3 cabins on fire, and there was fire encroaching up on another cabin, which would be our neighbor across the street. Yes, we need a fire truck at Twin Oaks. And I called 911 and requested a fire truck. They told me a fire truck was on the way, and they hung up on me.
Well, wildfire is a fire that burns through the wild. Essentially, you've got brush fires, grass fires, and these things can get out of control under very dry conditions, and they burn through everything, whether that be trees, vegetation, homes, cars, you name it, it's going through it, and nothing's going to stop it. Unless Mother Nature decides, hey, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of wind to calm down or give you a bit of rain. Otherwise, firefighters are at the mercy of that fire.
At that time, I told myself, it's time to get the hell out of here. You know, this fire with this wind, it is approaching quickly, and this is something that we need to get out of here. There's no way of playing with this at all. We need to get what we can out of here as fast as we can.
You knew the fire was coming. You didn't know if help was coming. We raced into the house and we grabbed what we cherished the most. We were in survival mode. We didn't know how big the fire was. We didn't know what caused it. You know, it was just terrible.
Believe it or not, the truck was loaded down with 10 gallons of fuel and jerry cans. Basically, we looked at each other and we were grabbing what we could. We thought that property was going to catch because of the winds and the approaching fires.
Michael and Anthony now have to navigate 4 miles of treacherous mountain road to try and get to safety.
We are now evacuating as Chalet Village is on fire. And we start driving through it. That worrisome fear from being inside the house, you know, are we gonna make it through what we just saw? That really kicked in. The heat driving through the fire was one of the most concerns I had. Go, 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 go. That shit out these tires in a heartbeat. Go.
I can't see.
Just hit the gas. Oh, God.
The smoke was deep and heavy as we were approaching the fires, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I actually had to turn the headlights off and turn the fog lights on. And that's how thick it was. And I still could not see nothing in front of me.
I can't see.
You can see.
The rapidly moving inferno spreads to their area in less than 30 minutes and is now stretching across a 15 square mile radius.
If you would have been walking out there for 5 or 6 minutes, even in an area that wasn't affected, one wind shift would have just changed it all for you. You would have perished.
We're not gonna make it across that road. Oh. You're good.
It really wasn't a wall of fire. It was more of a tornado of fire. The winds had picked up by this time. They were, approaching 80, 90 mile an hour in the higher elevations where we're at.
Oh God, that was a beautiful cabin too. Oh, yeah.
What was amazing was, as we were driving down, it was the cabins. Every single, nearly all of them were on fire.
I was thinking, I'm just getting off this mountain, I'm surviving.
Hit the gas, hit the gas.
The smoke is starting to affect your lungs, and this is just driving down. You're in a vehicle. That's like our spacecraft. If we lose that spacecraft, we may not make it out of this alive.
Well, you had reports of winds that were getting up into the 85, 87 mile per hour range, just incredible winds that really took place. So when you're dealing with wind like that, switching directions as well, that fire really begins to spread. And with such strong winds, it ended up knocking down trees. Those trees were now on the ground, so now it's a domino effect. Now you've got more trees burning as the fire continues to rage.
Go, go, go. We don't need a flat right here. Tree. Go through it. Go through it. I can't. We cannot be stuck.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard. With feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
What's going on up here?
Can't see what it is yet.
What is that? That's a Blazer? It's a Chevy Blazer?
Oh, this is dope.
It's beautiful.
I love the lights.
Oh man, it's got a mean face on it.
It looks like a piece of candy.
Look at the interior. This is nice.
This is my sexy mom car.
I would feel like a cool dad.
It's just really chic.
Love this.
It's gorgeous.
I would pull up in this in a heartbeat. I want one of these.
That is sharp.
The all-new Chevy Blazer speaks for itself.
I don't know who they got to design in this, but give them a cookie and a star.
With Domino's Carry-Out Insurance, we'll remake your order for free if anything happens to it on the way home, even if it's not your fault, like if it's whoever that guy's chasing's fault, or if it's man's best friend's fault, or even if it is, ultimately, your fault. Carry out Domino's large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. With Domino's Carry-Out Insurance, just bring it back and we'll remake it for free.
Owe the IRS back taxes? Who can you count on? Jackson Hewitt. With 35 years of trusted tax experience, count on us to take immediate action to help. You'll get a free consultation, plus $100 back if you don't like the options we present. That's right, $100 back. You can relax and live your life. We'll work directly with the IRS so you don't have to. Call or visit jacksonhewitt.com for your free consultation today.
We used to be so stressed from all the demands on our time, but then our doctor prescribed us something that changed our lives.
It's called sleep. It's like being awake, but you feel good.
And ever since we bought a Purple mattress, this sleep thing has been taken to a whole new level.
The Purple Grid cradles your pressure points while keeping you cool, unlike memory foam that heats you up like a weird lingering hug. Try Purple today. If you're not 100% satisfied after 100 nights, you can return it for a full refund.
Purple, the best thing since sleep.
Choose a free Purple product with mattress purchase.
In September 2014, storm chaser Josh Morgaman travels to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, to document Hurricane Odile, and is now barricaded in his hotel. It's 11:50 p.m. Odile is one of the worst hurricanes to ever hit Mexico and is now raging as a Category 4 storm with wind gusts over 130 miles per hour.
It was just like a bomb went off. A whole glass wall of the lobby just exploded. Glass, furniture, pieces of the building just went flying. And the hotel guests, me and the manager, just scattered like rats. There was something about that moment where the building just started to blow apart that it was like, wow, this just got real. Feeling of fear that you have from that, you know, you're just like physically trying to protect yourself, and that's all that matters.
Are you okay?
So one of the hotel workers and I, we were under the reception desk crouched there, and it wasn't a safe place because just wreckage was flying around in every direction. The office door opened, and another hotel worker just kind of like waved us in, and we sort of crawled on the floor into that room and shut the doors. And we thought we'd be safer, but we weren't. And the scary thing was there was nowhere to hide in this office.
This building is getting literally torn apart, and we're trying to find a safe place. The whole main lobby just blew away, just everything. And now we're trying to find just somewhere to go before these windows blow out and the ceiling's coming up.
So we knew we couldn't stay in that little office because those windows were going to go, and then we'd be just killed by flying glass. So we needed to get out of there, but in order to get out of there, the only way to safety was across that lobby, which had just become a wind tunnel, actually a shooting gallery of flying debris.
Okay, let's just try to run for it. Let's just try to run for it. Okay.
You two go first. Because I have to go.
Okay.
Remarkably, Josh and his friends managed to race across the lobby without getting hurt. But the fallout from the hurricane is unforgettable.
When you're in a bad hurricane, just the power of it, it's not something a video could capture because it's not just visuals, it's not just sound, it's something you feel it in your chest. The vibration, the intensity of it. It can't be put into words.
I was able to find my friend, my cameraman, Steven. He made it. He's okay. We're good. The worst of this hurricane is past, but you can see what it did to this lobby.
After being blasted for nearly 5 hours, the hurricane finally passes over Cabo at 2 a.m.
So Cabo San Lucas has been there for a long time. This was the first time in the city's recorded history that it was hit full force by a really, really strong hurricane. And I think people all over the city were just shocked by it. Talking to people the next day, longtime residents, everyone had tales of terror like ours. Everyone had the same experience of hiding in a closet, in a bathroom, under a piece of furniture as the windows were breaking, as the roof blew off. It was just a night of terror across the city. And for me, it was just terrifying to be in a building as it started to just blow apart.
Hurricane Odile took the lives of 11 people. 135 were injured, and over 30,000 locals left homeless. The cost of damage to property is $1.2 billion.
I've been in many, many hurricanes. Odile was absolutely one of the most ferocious.
Let's all experience something together. This beer, so pure you can taste it. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold. Beer in its organic form.
Children are meant to play, ruckus, roar. On Miracle Treat Day, helping kids do these things is what a Blizzard is for. When you buy a Blizzard, your local children's hospital gets $1 or more. We need you this Thursday at DQ.
Choosing my car insurance was the easiest decision ever. I switched to Geico and saved hundreds. that's a win. But it's not the only reason I switched. Geico's a company I can trust, with over 75 years of great savings and service. Now that's a win-win.
Switch to Geico. It's a win-win.
As your life grows, so do your needs. And with Bank of America and Merrill, the benefits you get can grow too. As a preferred rewards member, you can enjoy priority service and exclusive discounts, so your growing life can be more rewarding too. What would you like the power to do?
This is protection in a world of distraction. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, every day can begin with flakes. It's a reminder of your struggles with psoriasis. But what if your psoriasis symptoms didn't follow you around? That's why there's Illumia. With just 2 doses, a majority of people were clear or almost clear. And over time, even more people were clear or almost clear, all with dosing 4 times a year after 2 initial doses. Plus, Illumia was shown to have similar risks of infections compared to placebo.
Don't use if you're allergic to Illumia or any of its ingredients. Before starting treatment, your doctor should check for tuberculosis and infections. After checking, there is no need for routine lab monitoring unless your doctor advises it. Illumia may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or have symptoms, or if you plan to or have recently received a vaccine.
This could be your chance to leave your psoriasis symptoms behind. Ask your doctor for Illumia today for a clearer tomorrow. I'm Carl Parker. We are watching a new tropical depression right now just off the coast of Florida. It's now moving very slowly and there's not a lot to it. We're not expecting much out of it. Very little in the way of convection or thunderstorms near the center of the storm, and it's probably not going to develop much. Maybe some enhanced rainfall along the coast next couple of days. It's been a really stormy night in the Northeast. There are some ongoing concerns here. Tornado warning cells just about offshore in Cape Cod, Barnstable County. Also a warning farther to the west here into southeast Pennsylvania. Severe thunderstorm warning for Lancaster and York counties going until 11 p.m. and a lot more rain on the way for the 95 corridor. We're going to have much more on all of these stories starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. right here on the Weather Channel.
November 2016, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Michael Luciano and his stepbrother Anthony are trying to escape a raging wildfire when they hit a major obstacle.
Go through it. Go through it.
I can't.
When we encountered that tree and we saw the massive size of it, we kind of did a double take where I'm like, we can't stay here.
At the tree, that was the point that I actually realized that we possibly may have to evacuate the truck or ditch the truck and go by foot.
We gotta get out of here. Keep her in here. Oh, man.
We tried to leave the truck. It was too hot. I opened the door. Embers were blowing in the vehicle. I had to shut the door. There was no getting out at that area.
We had crews in an area trying to clear a large tree off of the roadway. And then there was a report of another tree that had gone down, a large tree that had gone down a few hundred yards away behind them. So we're in a situation where our TDOT employees and other emergency personnel are trapped by these 2 trees. And there's no way to get out of there. If they're not able to get those trees out of the roadways, you know, that could have been extremely dire.
One shot, and that was it. And I put it in 4-wheel drive, I backed up, and just ran the hell out of that tree.
just drove through a tree.
We were not out of the woods. Once we escaped the mountain, there were still fires burning.
Everything is burning. We just made it off of the mountain. We're on the spur now. And we're just sitting here.
In a line of bumper-to-bumper traffic with flames on both sides of you. And as we're sitting in that line of traffic, there are cars catching on fire.
Fire spreading quickly, so if you see the smoke, or if you smell the smoke and you see the fire, and you're downwind, you make preparations to be able to evacuate immediately.
It felt like I was going through war.
Michael and Anthony made it out alive, but 14 other people lost their lives. 134 were injured, and over 150,000 buildings were destroyed. The estimated cost of damage from the fire was $500 million, and it is regarded as one of the largest natural disasters in Tennessee history.
The next day, I remember going up there, and when I went through these communities, it looked like a bomb had gone off. The only thing I could equate it to is when you see, pictures from war. So imagine just in your own neighborhood where one day everything is just as normal, and then that night there's a fire and everything is wiped out around you.
The city, of course, they shut down the entire city. But we do know back roads. We were up here within 48 hours. We were actually helping some of the FEMA people that were up here. We actually helped run cadaver dogs around because there were no addresses left. There were no cabin names still posted. They were all burned up. And these first responders, they did a wonderful job, but they couldn't find properties that people lived in to do a proper search to see if they were home or not.
It was so bad. The fatalities, and they were still searching. And, we made our way back up here. When we turned into the driveway, I couldn't see the property yet. And I was praying and praying and praying. I said, please, Lord, let the property still be here. And right when I came up and I seen the flags and the property still standing, I said, thank God.
It was amazing that it survived. It was there's just no other words cannot describe it. It was very amazing to see the house still standing and all of your neighbors. Almost every cabin was gone.
I could have died. Michael could have died. My brother. Red could have died. It come back to me and I realized, I'm thankful.
This area is a mountainous area. There's plenty of trees and dry leaves and grass, things that burn easily. So especially with this time of very little rain that they had just come out of, these were all fuel for the fire. And these fires, if they have that material available to them, they will consume them very quickly.
Many people lost their lives. We were very blessed not to have lost ours.
In March 2017, Peru was hit by the worst torrential rainfall in 30 years, resulting in devastating mudslides around Lima. Experts now attribute this to the unusual warming of its coastal waters, known as El Niño.
At this time in Lima, because we were transitioning to an El Niño or had the presence of an El Niño here in the region, that added to the thunderstorm activity because that's when we would typically see enhanced rainfall because of those conditions.
It's one of the driest capitals of the world. We're talking about most of the time that water there, the coastal waters, really, really cold. So that helps to really suppress cloud development, which of course suppresses thunderstorm activity. But every now and then, those cold currents offshore, they retreat and they get replaced by warm currents. So now you've got a bit more warm air, rising air, more moisture in the atmosphere, and now you get more thunderstorms going, which can lead to these flood events.
So where you see those thunderstorms develop and drop tremendous amounts of moisture in the El Nino side, that's when they're really going to inundate the coastal mountainous regions of western South America, and that makes it particularly prone to mudslides.
At this time of the year, Lima, Peru doesn't usually see a lot of rainfall. It's a very dry place to begin with. You add a situation where you've got tons of rainfall come down over dry terrain. That's a situation that becomes very devastating very quickly because all of that rain rushes down the mountainsides. It grabs everything in its path. The mud mixes in, the dirt mixes in, and then that comes surging often into valleys where people live.
Conditions, they were horrible, and then they got even worse. And that was the problem. The rain, they kept on falling in that really small area. The land was dry, the land was really arid, and it just couldn't cope with that much water. Doing a year on average, Lima only gets about 1/2 inch of rain in the year. Now, during that week in March, that area was getting 6 inches of rain per day. So once a mudslide starts, there's nothing that's going to stop this thing from going down a hillside, and it's got everything in it. We've got boulders, debris, mud, all kinds of stuff. That's lethal as these things pick up speeds that could be in excess of 20 miles per hour. They average 10, 20, 30 miles per hour. They can even get up to highway speed.
113 people are killed in the mudslides, and over 150,000 are left homeless.
When you see the pictures of these poor people who ended up dying in this horrific situation, I mean, it truly is amazing that anyone stepped out alive.
Okay, look guys.
Life doesn't update you about your credit card, so meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Get everything you need to go back big at the low prices you love and get your teacher school supply list with the Walmart app.
To look at me now, you don't see psoriasis. You see clear skin.
You see me.
But if you saw me before Cosentyx,
I was covered. It was awful.
but I didn't give up. I kept fighting.
I got clear skin with Cosentyx.
3 years and counting. Clear skin can last.
See if Cosentyx could make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
See me now. I'm still clear.
How sexy are these elbows?
Get clear skin that can last. Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
The proud son of an immigrant father, John Hernandez found his own path through a field of smoke. When wildfires threatened communities, John jumped into danger, fighting through fear and fatigue until the fire was contained. John found his fighting spirit in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, a job few are willing to do. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
This summer, keep your foot down and the volume up. With best-in-class fuel economy and the most technologically advanced vehicle in its class, all in the Dodge Durango, America's fastest, most capable three-row SUV. Get yours at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Home insurance trusted by more people than any other. State Farm.
This thing's going in towards Moore. Yeah, it's on the ground. I've got it on the ground.
Moore, a town in the outskirts of Oklahoma City, was hit by one of the most powerful tornadoes in U.S. history on May 20th, 2013. It packed winds of over 200 miles per hour, and the Tinker Credit Union was one of the buildings in the direct path of this monster. Jan Davis, the branch manager of the credit union, wasn't that concerned when she first heard there might be a tornado.
I was not apprehensive about the storm. I really, thought it was just another storm, and of course you take precautions and do what you need to do when the time comes.
That day I came in to work security here at the bank, like a normal day. I recall there was a small chance of storms that day, but around here there's usually a small chance of severe weather, so it's just kind of like a normal day for everybody.
The morning of May 20th, I actually started off at my other branch. There was not rain at that point in time. The rain didn't start until I actually drove over here on 19th Street.
It's coming. Oh my God, look at it. Chris, come on. Hey. Come on. Chris, it's really, come on.
We were about halfway through the day here, and I heard about it.
This is a tornado emergency for Moore in South Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh, complete devastation.
And then we began taking precautions for tornadoes.
A tornado is a violently rotating column of air that connects from a cloud to the ground, and you have to have that connection for it to be called a tornado. You also are going to need something that causes that rising column of air to tilt just a little and start to spin. That's called wind shear. Different wind speeds and also directions at different heights up above the ground. So it's like you've taken a cake with different layers and then you've tilted it and then spun it just a little bit. As that main updraft goes up into the thunderstorm, you're generally going to see the entire storm start to spin. So now it's no longer what we call a cell, just one isolated thunderstorm. It's become this massive supercell that's spinning. And it's so wide and dark and debris filled that it's really terrifying to see come towards you.
Temperature is no doubt one of the key ingredients there. As you get that stark contrast in temperature, it really sets up the environment to form these tornadoes. Oklahoma, they're one of the breeding grounds for tornadic activity. That's where you get some of this cold air coming in from aloft, from the Rockies, meeting up with really warm surface air from the Gulf of Mexico. And when those two clash, they tend to clash right over the state.
The credit union was well aware of the dangers of tornadoes and had a plan in place.
So the credit union has very specific procedures where if you have inclement weather, you go into a vault or you go into your storage shelter. When I really knew it was going to hit here, I already had everyone inside this vault at that point. The only two that were not in here was myself and my police officer, Greg Vandy. We were both outside of this vault monitoring the weather and the TV. So it wasn't until a few minutes before I actually came into this vault that I knew we were going to take a direct hit.
Okay, let's go to the storm tracker. Tornado emergency now in effect for Moore. Tornado emergency for Moore. You folks in Moore, you need to grab whatever it is you need to grab.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
As it got closer and closer, it was predicted to hit about a mile south of here, and then it changed directions.
Extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. If you cannot get underground, go to a storm shelter or the interior room of a sturdy building now.
I couldn't really see the edge of either side of it. I could see stuff, cars and trees flying through the air, and it obviously looked like it was going to hit here.
We've got damage. Okay, I'm watching. Oh my God, we've got damage. Yeah, I'm all over this. We got power flashes. We got a major tornado west of Oakland, yeah, it's heading into Moore. Yeah, it's devastating. It's devastating.
And that's when I went and looked out the back door and saw it was, you know, just pretty much across the street. So I knew it was pretty bad, so I ran and got into the money vault.
I've got power lines all over the place. And it looks like I'm gonna have to stop. It's just moving straight east, people. It's moving straight east. I'm gonna try to, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to get stuck.
We're talking about a storm that rapidly intensified here into an incredibly massive and destructive tornado. And it's really tricky to get these warnings right. And some people just didn't have that warning in time to get prepared and get to their safe zone to get out of harm's way.
This thing is huge.
It's a 3 p.m. slump.
Should add a P3.
Oh, yeah.
Need energy? Get P3 with a mix of meat, cheese, and nuts.
Down there, Care, with Cottonelle. Down there, because you're about to nail this presentation, so you get fresh here, but why not get fresh there? With the cleansing power of water in Cottonelle Flushable Wipe, so you can feel as confident as a boss, even though you aren't one yet. Care. Down there, Care, with Cottonelle.
And the record for longest-lasting AA battery goes to Energizer Ultimate Lithium, Guinness World Records title holder for longest-lasting AA battery.
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular event. That means more euphoric feelings that come from getting a great deal on a Honda CR-V or HR-V. Or from getting a Pilot or Passport. All part of 2019's best SUV brand. Hurry in today and experience the joy for yourself.
Get a great deal on the Honda CR-V, part of 2019's best SUV brand, at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
And Doug.
Exactly. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Nice. But, what's up with your partner?
Oh, we just spend all day telling everyone how we customize car insurance because no two people are alike, so. Limu gets a little confused when he sees another bird that looks exactly like him. Yeah. He'll figure it out.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza, and you don't have to either.
Once upon a time, I was drinking Dos Equis. Now I'm just waiting at the bar. There's nothing I can do. There's a really big crowd at the bar.
Summer jams with Dos Equis. Keep it interesante.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith. Or this John Smith. Or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who met with Humana to create a personalized care plan. At Humana, we have more ways to care for your health, and we find one that works just for you, no matter what your name is.
If something happened to you, what would happen to them? Their home, their education, their future. You need life insurance, and chances are SelectQuote can help you get it for less than $1 a day.
SelectQuote found Jacob 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Our secret? At SelectQuote, we aggressively comparison shop up to 10 highly rated companies to find you the company with the best rates.
We found Gary, 35, a $1 million policy for only $22 a month.
Why pay more? Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
Call 1-800-852-9312 or go to SelectQuote.com now and get the insurance your family needs.
At a price you can afford. Select Quote. We shop, you save.
23 people crammed into its vault for safety, the Tinker Credit Union in Moore, Oklahoma, is in the direct path of one of the most terrifying tornadoes in U.S. history.
First sounds that you hear are just cracking and creaking and busting glass, and although it's very loud, the winds are loud. I've heard different people describe it as like a 747 is landing on top of you.
It's going towards Moore High School.
Free ball right now.
We got major damage here in Moore, Oklahoma. It's lifted.
The tornado is physically on the ground, just destroying power lines.
The Moore tornado, that was defined as an EF5 tornado on the enhanced Fujita scale, which puts it up there with winds getting up over 200 miles per hour. The width of this thing was massive. We're talking over 1 mile, 1 mile wide tornado, which was extremely destructive and destroyed everything in its path.
The vault wasn't designed to withstand the force of a tornado, and the credit union had never been hit before. It's a frightening time for all 23 employees and customers stuck in that confined space.
The main thing I noticed was the pressure. My ears began to pop real loud, and it was, I was starting to get a lot of pressure on my head.
The pressure in your head is so strong when you're inside of the vortex of a tornado that your ears can't pop, so your head just hurts and feels like it's gonna explode.
Well, during a tornado season in the U.S., you would typically get about 1,000 tornadoes just in general, and out of that 1,000, you'd have maybe around 20 or so that may get up into that EF3 range. And then on average, maybe one EF5. So this was a rare thing.
It's taking a line along 134th, and it does not look like it's going to let up.
The conditions there were devastating. You had all of those low-level ingredients that were important for tornadoes, but you actually had a bit of an extra push from the upper levels of the atmosphere to really get things going. So we had a very long-lived tornado that went 14 miles in its path and lived at this violent intensity, and it brought catastrophic damage to the town.
So I was trying to remain calm myself. I was obviously nervous, but there were some people in there crying and praying and screaming. And so I was trying to get them to calm down, at the same time trying to keep myself calm and trying to find a way to secure the door from the inside, so if it did hit us, we could keep it from opening.
The vault door is designed to lock not with people in it. It's designed to protect the things that are inside of it from the outside. And if I had to describe it to you, as heavy as that vault door was, it started to come open, and I was holding it. I knew I couldn't hold it by myself.
And I had a hold of Jan, trying to keep her from being pulled out. It was very scary. I had the thoughts going through my head at the time that, I may be getting sucked out of this.
When we first heard silence outside, so that was the first indication that maybe we were safe. So we waited for probably 2 to 3 minutes, just not sure exactly how long. The doors are very thick. It would open about 6 inches, but not enough to get a person out. So we kept pushing on it. It was probably the scariest moment of the day. The smell of gas was still permeating everywhere and getting stronger by the moment. And we were just desperately trying to get the door open, but stuck inside.
Everybody was trying to think of different ways to get out, and nobody could. We tried everything we could think of. 5 to 10 people pushing on the door, and it just wasn't budging.
Eventually, some people that had taken shelter across the street came over to see if there were still people alive in our building, and they actually moved the things that were pinned in the door and opened the door enough for us to get out the door.
When I exited the vault, I looked around at the destruction all around, and I felt lucky to be alive, but at the same time, I felt bad for everybody that had lost as much as they had.
The 2013 Moore tornado killed 24 people, injured 377, and caused over $2 billion of damage.
There was no ceilings, there were no walls. Nothing that you had seen when you went in was left. It was all gone. It was overwhelming.
The tornado obliterated the credit union. Everything had to be rebuilt at a cost of over $3 million.
First thing I did is I looked west of here where the hospital was, and it was totally demolished. Across the street, all the houses were demolished. And then I looked around at the credit union we were in and saw that the only thing left really was the vault that we were inside.
I'm Carl Parker, and we have a brand new advisory on a new tropical depression. This is Tropical Depression 3, which is just off the coast of Florida. Not doing a whole lot right now, and we're not expecting that much out of it. We may see some additional rainfall on the coast. That's probably going to be just about it, though. Also, really stormy night tonight along the 95 corridor. It's not quite over yet. Looking at a severe warning right now in southeastern Virginia. That's making its way towards Chesapeake Bay. And a big area of heavy rain now coming up across the Turnpike in Pennsylvania. And a lot more rain on the way through tonight and into tomorrow morning as well. Very wet start there in New York City, where we had a bunch of flash flood warnings, and more of that into the afternoon. Complete details on all of these stories starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
The American heartland. Peaceful. Serene. And every spring, a war zone.
Oh my God.
During tornado season, cars get tossed like toys. Cities are leveled. And lives are shattered. But for one group of individuals, tornadoes aren't the hunters. Tornadoes are the hunted.
Yes! Yes!
Some do it for the thrill.
Yeah!
Some for the passion. And one man is doing it for cold hard cash.
Go out there and make a month's salary or more in just one day.
It's an all-out race to beat the competition and hit nature's ultimate jackpot. Now, the chase begins.
Game on!
System capable of producing a tornado.
We gotta go. That's coming right for us.
Extreme caution.
That there, man, this is the day I've been waiting for.
There's got to be a tornado in there, man. Where is the rotation?
We're right underneath it, dude. It's swirling right above us.
We're in the tornado. We're in the tornado. My ears are popping. Our ears are popping. The tornado is right
Doug, man, hey. You made it, buddy.
Dude, how you doing?
Fine, I think we chose the right spot, man.
Oh, man, you seen this?
That's a huge high risk. So
High risk.
How many states is it covering?
Dude, high risk. Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas.
And a bit of Missouri, even.
A little bit of Missouri, down to Oklahoma, all the way to Duluth. Someone's going to die. Hey.
Are you
What's up,
alive?
Phil? Hey, Tim, here's the rookie.
Good morning, Phil. Have you gotten the chance to see what we're in for today? You are hitting gold today, buddy. We got the best day possible.
Dead man.
Look at that. If you weren't scared before, you should start to be a little scared now, Phil. That's great.
High risk.
High risk means
We are here. High risk. High risk means high risk for some damage for the insurance companies.
We're gonna head out, Doug. We're gonna
Head
go
out?
pack up our stuff and get everything set up in our vehicle. I'm not sure what direction we're gonna go yet, but I'm gonna start doing with my eyes because I read the
I
atmosphere.
gotta go pack my stuff and toss it in the truck. All right, let's go get Phil's first tornado. My name is Doug Kiesling. They call me the weather paparazzi in the news industry. I'm the one the networks call for tornado footage, hail, lightning, heavy rain, blizzard, you name it, even hurricane footage. This is Phil's first storm chase ever.
What's the closest you've got to a storm?
Too damn close. People see what I do, don't do it. Right now we're heading southeast out of Hayes. We're gonna be intersecting the storms as they explode over Kansas. The storm's just gonna be cranking full speed to the north.
I don't know what it is.
So you gotta be on an area where the storms are gonna start firing. When these things start going 40, 50, maybe 60 miles an hour, there's no way you're gonna keep up with them. So I call it storm chasing.
You know, I don't have the scientific knowledge that you guys have, so I don't really know the damage that it can do.
I mean, it's all cool and stuff, but you also have to remember, this stuff kills people, okay? You see, like, the shows, oh, you know, it's the deadliest job. No. Storms kill people all the time.
150 miles to the north, Tornado Tim Baker and daughter Crystalyn are heading north out of Hayes to intercept a storm near the Kansas-Nebraska border.
I think tornadoes are from Satan. I mean, the devil himself, I think, is out there to hurt, kill, and destroy. That's what the Bible says. The devil is the destroyer. Tornadoes destroy. I think he's trying to bring a little hell on earth.
I'm glad you brought me along again. I'm glad you don't get sick of bringing me.
Never.
It's definitely bonding when we're about ready to die together. Interesting.
Well, now I'm very hopeful. So on the path then of tornadoes. Pretty much going to do a lot of visual now because we're in such a perfect place. My eyes can tell me what's going on.
My name is Simon. I chase tornadoes. Most people would pee their pants with what I see every day.
Wake up! Wake up!
My name is Justin Drake. I have a passion for seeing the beauty and the power of the atmosphere. I'm low key. I just sit around, I just chill, I do my thing. You on the other hand, superstar. He does all the damn talking, Brand.
That's because you're quiet as hell,
He
dude.
got his
You are
web.
quiet as hell.
I'm quiet as hell because I can't put in 2 sentences without you opening your mouth.
Simon and Justin will intercept the storm in western Nebraska, and they're not alone.
Uh-oh, look who it is. You got the TIV, the Tornado Intercept vehicle. That new we got on the interstate, they're trying to beat us to the punch. It is designed to have a tornado go over top of it and, you know, protect the occupants inside. There we go. There's our tornado warning to our northwest right now. And the one to our due west is a severe thunderstorm warning.
With tornadic storms firing, the graduates decide to head far west and pull away from the pack. The chase is on for teams triangulating the storm in western Nebraska, northern Kansas, and southern Kansas. After 2 hours on the road, Doug and Phil are on the storm.
Caution, caution. You're approaching a twisting storm. Please exercise caution.
I know other chasers right now went up towards Nebraska. My gut feeling tells me that go where they're already firing up severe in this moist atmosphere.
Oh, that's too sweet. Too sweet.
There's tons of lightning just crashing down all around us.
Man, I can't wait.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh. That would be the zone.
Oh. Wow.
Feel that shake the whole truck?
Yeah. Come on. Punch down.
Do something, damn it.
Rotate. I love it. You can't even see where it's gonna come from.
If you get out of the vehicle right now, you're, asking for trouble with just the lightning. I mean, there's tons of lightning around here.
Man, this is perfect.
We're going 4x4 down this dirt road and try and get up on top of the hill. It's going to be the best place to see a tornado, but we got to be careful because it's also going to be the best place to get struck by lightning. We want to be able to get the hell out of here quick if anything happens here. Oh, look at that. See the edge of the rain there? The edge of the rain's on the other side of the hill over here too.
I can't even contain myself.
You see over here where it's kind of like that milky green, yellowish? That's gonna be your hail core over there. This whole thing's just getting ready to come up and munch us. Look at how fast that's cricket. We're gonna be caught in about a minute or two. Whoa. Yeah, we're standing in the middle of an open field, the highest possible spot with lightning coming all around us in a severe thunderstorm. The edge of the rain's on the other side of the hill over here too. Whoa. What was that?
Whoa! Yeah!
To the car.
Ow! Get inside! Save yourself! Here comes the rain, baby! Yeah!
Did you see how freaking close that strip was?
Awesome! Oh my god! Yes! Whoa!
Coming up next.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's the tornado.
Yes!
What's the secret to natural bliss? We choose perfect, simple ingredients. Farm fresh milk and cream, pure cane sugar, and Madagascar vanilla. That's one tasty secret. 100% natural bliss, 100% of the time.
Shaving has been difficult for me. I have very sensitive skin. I get ingrown hairs. Just stopping that irritation, that burn that I get, I wouldn't use anything else.
You try hard. You eat right, mostly. You make time when you can. But sometimes life gets in the way, and that stubborn fat just won't go away. Cool Sculpting takes you further. A non-surgical treatment that targets, freezes, and eliminates treated fat cells. For good. Discuss Cool Sculpting with your doctor. Some common side effects include temporary numbness, discomfort, and swelling. Don't imagine results. See them. Cool sculpting. Take yourself further.
Bear presents Tough as Walls.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
That's some great paint.
Bear, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with interior paints. Paint, prime, protect, all in one. Now that's some great paint. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
And Doug.
What do all these people have in common, Limu? Exactly. Nothing. They're completely different people. That's why they need customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual. They'll only pay for what they need. Yes, and they could save a ton. You've done it again, Limu. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
12 grams of protein equals good vibes rising. Kashi, go. Do more of what you love.
We never said the story was over. Storm Stories, the Weather Channel's hit series, returns August 18th.
The best place to shoot a tornado is outside the storm's core.
Yes! Yes!
But Doug and Phil are in the middle of it, surrounded by lightning.
Oh, we got some hail. That clanging is major hail.
Doug and Phil quickly reposition for its next strike.
That was amazing. I'm just dying to see the tornado come out of the clouds.
Storms are just racing off so damn fast.
Yeah. So
we need to head that way. We need to keep going south, go to the southern storms.
"75 miles to the north, Simon and Justin track the storm in western Nebraska.
The storm's starting to intensify. It's got a nice inflow band developing on it. It's got a good shape to it. Just saw some lightning strikes, so that's a good sign. You know, it's pumping out some lightning.
A severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time Thursday evening for northwestern Kansas and southwest Nebraska. Repeat.
It's definitely a big storm. Conditions like this, when storms are moving this fast, by the time the tornado warnings come out, and by the time they actually receive the warning, it might be too late. We may be in what we think is a perfect position. All of a sudden, something happens with the storm. The region where the tornado is, or where it might develop, starts to shift on us, and we have to move very quickly and make quick decisions. If we don't, we end up getting hit.
90 miles